Belina Show. Tuesday, I am calendar enabled. Welcome to the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric. I'm going to share with you the blueprint. This is how we're going to do between now and 2 o'clock. At 11:20, which I'm not good at math, but I can do this one. That's about 20 minutes from right now. Logan Lee, who played basketball at A&M and coached at A&M in Kentucky. Logan Lee is going to join me inside the Charles Schwab studio. We're going to talk about the state of Bucky ball. They've lost 4 straight. There's 6 games remaining in the schedule. What do they need to do to make sure the NCAA tournament locked in and done? I don't know about you. I don't want to go to the SEC tournament needing X number of wins, even one, to convince the committee. I never want to convince a committee if I'm any A&M team, any A&M sport, because I don't believe an Aggie team can convince the committee of anything. I am one of those conspiracy theorists who believes that the NCAA hates Texas A&M, committee, members, whatever. So Logan and I, Bucky ball, 6 games left. What's got to happen? We'll discuss that 11:20. He joins me inside the Charles Schwab studio. At 12 o'clock, the Maroon and White Notebook, but it will feature Mike Elko. He had a spring conference media day yesterday, and we listened to it live at 1:30 here on the Louie Belina Show. But we're going to discuss. He said some things fascinate me, interest me, had my mind kind of churning and thinking about. But also last night, Bucky McMillan, A&M basketball head coach, had the Aggie basketball hour, and he said some things that, I should probably drink more so my mind would not work so hard. So at 12 o'clock and lunchtime on the Louie Belina Show, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, the Maroon and White Notebook, Elko and Bucky and Elko. It's a new cop show on Fox. But we're going to talk about some of the things they had to say, some of the thoughts in the universe. At 1 o'clock here on the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric, we're going to go around college football, kind of catch up on some of the other stories out there that are not Maroon and White related. 1:55. Oh, yeah. It's Tuesday. 1:50. Let me get my times right. At 1:50, Community Spotlight. Every Tuesday we visit with different nonprofits like Twin City Mission, Aggieland Humane Society. Today, United Way of the Brazos Valley. Next Tuesday, the Brazos Valley Food Bank. Today, United Way of the Brazos Valley, 1:50 Community Spotlight. And then, that's a lot. I'm almost tired already. We just got started. The final part, I got those tickets to go see Creed at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. It's all thanks to Grocholski Sausage. Big fan of their work. They've been doing like artisan products, custom processing since 1952. They're using family recipes, old school Polish and more. They now have 2 locations. They got the OG location in Bremond, located on Main Street in Bremond. They opened a second location on Main Street, but this time in Calvert. Thank you, Grocholski Sausage Company. And you listen in. I'll throw up the bat signal. I'll tell you when you can register. Every day, I get another person. Every day I get another person. Each day on the Louie Belina Show. We'll do that for a couple of weeks. I want to give everybody a chance. And then we'll just draw one lucky person, and you'll go see Creed at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Thank you, Grocholski Sausage Company. Let's begin. Maroon and White, what's going down? Aggie baseball tonight, back in action. It's the midweek game. They're taking on A&M Corpus Christi, the Islanders. I think it's one of the better names in the business. There's something calm and relaxing and welcoming about the Islanders. They're not very good. I've seen them in the NCAA baseball tournament in their history. But A&M, number 24 in the country, will host A&M Corpus Christi. First pitch like 6:02 tonight. You can listen to Aggie baseball tonight right here on the Zone, 1150 AM, 93.7 FM. You can listen on the Zone app. You can listen at radioaggieland.com, and you can tell Alexa, play Zone 1150. This will be the 16th meeting all time. Aggies are 15-0. 13 wins at home, 2 on the road. Last year, 17-7 run rule dub for the Aggies over A&M Corpus Christi. Tonight, the midweek, the Aggies will try and push it to 4-0. I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm picking an Aggie win in this one. Will Caden Sorrell go yard? He's the SEC Player of the Week. 9 hits, 10 RBIs, 3 home runs, over 15 at-bats on opening weekend. Damn right he was the SEC Player of the Week. I'm a big fan of infographics. Aggie baseball does some of the best. And they broke down, over the weekend, the big infographic, 45 runs, 45 hits, 22 walks. Pitchers struck out 28 batters. First pitch strike percentage. And the pitchers that threw less had the higher. Strikeout percentage overall, Shane Sadeo, 73%. Nice. Top 3 exit velos. Caden Sorrell, 114. Caden Sorrell, 113. Chris Hakopian, 112. Top 3 home run distances. Caden Sorrell, 445. Gavin Krahovic hit a bomb, 429, and Caden Sorrell hit a bomb, 422. Just fun stuff to look at. Hitter of the week, of course, was Caden Sorrell. Pitcher of the week, of course. I say, of course, Aiden Sims. If you want your one cause for pause, too early in the year use the word cause for concern. We'll say the one cause for pause, and cause for pause rhymes. That gives me the poet didn't know it situation, but your one cause for pause, pitching wasn't very good this weekend except for Sunday. First weekend, they swept. Let's feel good. But Aiden Sims was fantastic on Sunday and a great relief 3-inning save for Freshcorn. So the pitcher of the week was Aiden Sims. Give me a good infographic. I feel better about life. Maroon and White, Aggie softball, the latest polls. D1, Aggies went 3-2, lost to the only 2 ranked teams they played, and D1 softball left them at 13. They did not move in the rankings. Aggies are 7-3. They started the year 11. They did drop 2 spots after the opening weekend when they lost to Texas Tech. That's the thing, the bizarreness of the logic to me. So they dropped 2 spots when they were 11 and lost to then number 1 in the country, which I didn't understand, losing by 1 run to a team ranked 1 in the country, but yet you dropped 2 spots. They lost 2 games to teams ranked behind them and didn't move a single spot. I think I've become an anti-pollist. I don't know if that's a thing. I just ask for consistency and logic because this isn't an anti or pro A&M thing. I point this out with college football polls. But A&M softball dropped 2 spots by losing by a run to the number 1 team, and they stay the same when they lose 2 games to teams ranked behind them in the poll. Make it make sense. Looking at the D1 softball polls, though, Tennessee moved up 2 spots to number 1 in the country. Even though Texas, who was 2, went 5-0. So, and you know what? If the voters say we have 10 games worth of data, sure, we started the year with Texas in front of Tennessee, but after 10 games, we think Tennessee is better, even though Texas was in front of them and won 2. That kind of thing. Okay. Texas Tech lost a game over the weekend. Nebraska beat them, and it was a great game that was very weather affected. The winds were just horrible. There's more to it, too. There's some bad logic in that game, too, but still. So your top 5, Tennessee 1, Texas 2, Texas Tech 3, Oklahoma's 4, and Florida is 5. So 4 out of the top 5 teams in the country are SEC. And then Arkansas pops up at 7. Bama's at 9. So that means that 7 out of the top 10 teams in the country, softball or SEC, were the top story so far. As Bama started the year at 14-16. I even commented at the time that might be the lowest I've ever seen them to start the year. And all they've done, their offenses went medieval. They're up to number 9 already. So that's D1 softball, top 25 Aggie softball, 13 in the country. Text message made me chuckle real quick. Rob Meyer, finally you like my Islanders. Oops, wrong Islanders. He's talking hockey. So I think there might have been 2 total people that maybe had a chance at that. But here on the Louie Belina Show, I got 2 things for you. Go Stars, go Astros. NHL is on the Winter Olympics break, so we haven't had hockey in a while. Dallas Stars, hottest team in hockey, entering the All-Star break. Go Islanders. Stop it, man. I respect it. You're one of 2 Islanders fans I've ever heard of in existence, Rob. Go Stars. And spring training, if you're following Astros baseball, Lance McCullers made this bold, strong statement about this is my last year as a stroke because it's the last year of his deal. And he'd love to have one last hurrah, not for the next contract, not to keep pitching, but just to help Houston one last time. And he knows the struggles he's had, injury, otherwise, and it's not about the money. It's about one last time for Houston. A lot of people have been talking about that, and little tear to left eye even for me. That's pretty awesome. Go Stars, go Stros. Back to the Maroon and White Notebook. And look, at 12 o'clock, Maroon and White rolls on. Elko, Bucky, Elko. Couple of things I do want to hit real quick because, man, they had a lot to say yesterday. It was Elko, his spring football conference, and then the Aggie basketball hour. But Bucky last night, quick hitters, quick things that caught my attention from the Aggie basketball hour. Quote, we played really tired. Said it. I think it was obvious. It was a fact. And I think the mental fatigue mixed in with the actual, it's that time of the year fatigue, equaled. Sure, Vanderbilt could beat them. Vanderbilt's a good team. Vanderbilt was at home. It was 11 a.m. game. But for it to look that way is, oh, yeah, they are tired. And Bucky also said, quote, we got a veteran team. Our players called a team meeting after Vanderbilt loss. That's not good. I've never once, whether it's my favorite team I hate, I've never heard the whole team meeting being called and thought to myself, hell yeah, that's awesome. So the players know things are going sideways too. Anytime I hear the team meetings called, I get concerned. Coach Elko yesterday, he said some things that did make me go, all right, it's time to run through a paper mache wall, break a whiskey bottle over my head, punch a puppy. And then he did say a couple of things where I went, huh, really? One thing, the motto last year, he talked about this was finish, right? And they did. They went 11-1. And you're going to be like, Lou, they lost their last 2. Well, that was the thing, and I talked about it at the time about the concept of finish, right? Well, finish didn't account for December. And he talked about this year. So what is it this year? Consistency and urgency. He nailed it. That was the fact. He talked about that when they played their best, they were a national championship team. And when they played in their upper 25% of their capability, they're a national champ. It's a fact. He's right. And if you looked at the games, it seemed like they would drift for a quarter, drift for a half. Look at South Carolina. What happened when they got urgent? Ding, ding, ding. So if he can impress, and get them to practice urgency and consistency, because finish should already be instilled, it is the next step. And it sounds basic, but man, it's that whole you got to learn how to win, building a culture of a program. And you can't do it all at once. And I just thought it was so brilliant. And so I want to say obvious, but he was right. In last season, they installed finish and he went 11-1. And boy, if you look at November this year, they're going to have to finish. They're going to have to finish. OU, road, Texas home are the last two alone. With Tennessee and South Carolina, consistency, 4 quarters. Not 2 and not 3, 4 quarters. And urgency. You can't just kind of, well, the switch is going to come on. No, man. Kickoff. That's when the switch needs to go on Friday night. Yeah, I loved it. We'll talk more about Elko, Bucky, things they had to say. I got more Maroon and White Notebook, and that'll be about 12 o'clock here on the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric. But when we return, up next, Logan Lee. Let's deep dive us some Aggie hoops, right? The final 6 games. The NCAA Tournament, exclamation mark, question mark. That's what's next here on the Louie Belina Show. Tuesday on the Zone.
Can't reach your radio? Listen to Aggie Baseball online at radioaggieland.com.
Welcome back to the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric on a Tuesday. Joining me inside the Charles Schwab studio, a legend in his own right. Jealous of TJ Finley because Logan only did 6 teams in 6 years, and TJ Finley is up to 17 in 7 years. So Logan got himself erased off the record books by TJ Finley. Logan Lee,
give me one more year.
I'm sure if you sued, you could get 10 more years at this point.
I played a year JUCO, so I could get it back, right?
Yes.
I had knee surgery and back surgery in 1 year and still didn't get a medical red shirt. I could get 2 years back.
Minimum.
Minimum.
You state the number of years you want, and I'm sure you could get them back at this point.
And they probably owe me an extra year for having to go through the mental anguish that I had to fight through of them denying me a medical red shirt.
That would be great. In our modern court system, you do get to go for triple damages. Or
Absolutely,
whatever,
right?
And in an athletic context, instead of, since it's not financial damages, and I want 3 more years for mental anguish.
You see?
And Logan all of a sudden has 5 years left.
Or just pay me my $1.5 million of NIL and I'll leave.
And do y'all know
I will
that
settle.
I was a legend on the Texags board? So that's at least worth $2 million in NIL.
Absolutely.
Bam.
I was a half Asian in Hawaii. That would have scored me a ton of money.
The number of spam endorsements you would have got alone.
I could have killed that.
So Logan Lee, legend, joins us inside the Charles Schwab studio. We don't have to talk a lot about the Vanderbilt game because it kind of was obvious that they're tired.
Yeah.
They're worn down. It was an 11 a.m. game. Nobody got the hot hand. Only one player even had a game that went to the good category. It was the fitting finale to this 4-game stretch.
I think, when you're struggling and when you're on a losing streak, you tend to let that creep in. I am tired. If they had been on a 3-game win streak and they're still playing, it's something that gives you, hey, we got to keep this up. We've got to fight. We got to push. I think that combination, along with, man, physically, these guys have been beat up in every game. I mean, they are going.
They've been out physical.
Yeah, they're
the ones that get leaned on, sweat
absolutely
on, wore down.
They are going up against guys at every position that are 2, 3, 4 inches taller than them, have 10, 15, 20 pounds heavier than them, and that takes a toll on you. And then,
I thought that's why you play 10 players, so it doesn't. I thought that's why they played that many.
And let's just start with Aggie. Jamie Vincent hasn't played enough minutes to rest Aggie. Federico hasn't played enough minutes to rest Aggie. They don't have it. They don't have the depth that at that position that they thought they would be able to utilize. And so now Aggie's playing a ton, and he's physically worn out. Look at the guy. Florida, for example. Look at those big dudes. Missouri. Look at those big dudes. He's fighting these guys, and not only is he fighting them, oh yeah, he's trapping 94 feet from the basket on defense. When he scores a bucket, he's on the baseline. And then first pass, trap the first pass. Then you're running all the way down the floor. That's hard for a big guy, especially an old guy like him.
An old guy. I love this. The college years.
Yeah, but I think all of it played a factor into this game. And they lost by what, 13?
You're right though, but no, the Vanderbilt game, everything.
They were tired. They were worn out.
This is the one game that was just about them. They were tired mentally. They were tired physically. The end of this stretch, it all came into roost.
Yep,
without a doubt.
And
11 a.m. It all factored in.
Man,
Everything.
11 a.m. That's tough.
What time do you? Okay, you coached, you played. What time do you get up in the hotel for 11 a.m. game?
So, if it were a Billy Gillespie game, we would be practicing at 6 o'clock. Practicing. And if you're in the hotel, depending on what time of the season is, this point in the year, we probably would have been, the managers would have had the ballroom taped off with a court and the lane lines, and we wouldn't just be like, we'd be practicing taped. Even though it's in a hotel ballroom with no rim.
So how about for a non-psychotic coach?
Probably 7. I mean, it's not much difference. You still got to go through, but I guarantee you the walkthrough is different. They probably get to the gym a little earlier so they can shoot around. Maybe they find a high school gym that they go shoot around. Instead of shooting around at 7, they shoot around at 8:30. So
you're already worn down, and then you have this.
But I say 8:30. That's way too close to the game time. Like that, it's 7 o'clock is 7:30 is where it's at, and you're doing a walkthrough, and you're going through film, and then you go to breakfast, and then you have some time to relax and take a breath and change and get ready for the game, and then it's game time. Then you're in pregame warmups and you're ready to go. But I differ from you. And I know it's hard. We are normally on the same page. You and I are
simpatico. We're like brothers.
But I differ from you in you don't like team meetings.
Oh, you heard that.
Player called team meetings.
Hate it with a passion.
I don't. If you hated team meetings and our teams didn't have team meetings, Antoine Wright would have quit before the season started. AC Law would have quit before the second season started. Like, we wouldn't have had.
I thought AC Law didn't quit because of his mom. What, the team meeting is what saved him now?
No, man.
Are we changing the story on him?
His mom definitely helped, because she was like, "Look, he ain't gonna do that.
You don't quit."
But you also have pressure from your extended family in the locker room. You're not doing this. It's not what's gonna happen. We need you. That's just how it is. And I don't think. And obviously, I'm not in the locker room. I'm not in that team meeting. But I don't view a player-led team meeting in this scenario as, hey, everything's hit the fan, wheels are off the tracks, we've got to figure it out. I think it was more of, fellas, let's get this together. We've all got to get on the same page. We got to get back to what we're doing, and let's focus in and let's knock it out. I don't think there was fighting, cussing, yelling.
I'm tired of you not blocking out.
Exactly.
I'm tired of you taking the worst shot, the worst possible time.
I guarantee you it was more along the lines of, we need help. Everybody needs to step up. Start playing the way we know you.
Isn't it
we know
a
you
little
can play.
late after a 4-game losing streak to say that? Shouldn't that have been said earlier? If you have team leaders, shouldn't that have been handled earlier?
It's different because I guarantee you, AG is yelling at those guys every single day. And when I say yelling, he's just encouraging.
Mike Elko threw a chair, and A&M won like 10 straight games. If AG would have thrown a chair, they wouldn't have a 4-game losing streak.
Doubtful. You see the guys that they played?
Yeah,
those teams.
That's the one thing that I will admit, and maybe others, if they want to admit it with me. They played some good teams.
Yeah, they did.
Let's never forget that. That's why we circled this 5-game stretch.
Absolutely.
It wasn't all about Aggie basketball in this story.
Absolutely. And so, they ended it 1-4. We thought 2 and 3 would be great. 1-4. I wish they would have gotten the Missouri game, or really they could have gotten the Vanderbilt game.
No, they were too tired.
I was just about to
Missouri.
pause and say no. Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
They looked sluggish.
Yeah.
But
they could have beat Bama. They had 2 threes late that they should have hit.
Man,
to lose by 3.
They were right there, and that was a well played game by both teams. That was a very fun game to watch. I thought that was the best game that they played out of this 5-game series, and they ended up losing it. But now it's time to move on, and I don't know. gosh, I forgot the lineup. What is it? Ole Miss.
Okay. I had this written down.
Fire away.
They're playing today and then Saturday, two teams that are 3-9 in league play. They finished with LSU as 2-10.
Today or tomorrow? Tomorrow.
Wednesday
tomorrow.
and Saturday. Look, the two games this week.
Yeah.
Okay, 3-9. Ole Miss has lost 3 straight.
I know.
What else do you want? I don't care about the state of your team. So in this 6-game stretch, they got 3 games. If they're not going to win them, we're wasting our time talking about it. I'm sorry. I know I'm being overly simplistic, but if you can't beat Ole Miss, LSU, and I'm going to Google because...
Okay, Nat, look, we always talk about it. Now we're moving the goalpost because before the season started, Ole Miss was going to be a toss-up game. Who knows?
Now we have data points, and Ole Miss stinks to high heaven.
So after your data points, though, where A&M is on a 4-game losing streak, you still think it's a necessity to? You think it's a mandatory? Hey, this is a given. If they don't win, they're not good. No, they just lost 4 in a row.
Here you go. You've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 3 in a row. You're in the same state, but overall, Ole Miss sucks. Can I simplify it any more than that?
No, you can't. You can't get any more simple.
But am I wrong?
Simple than that. Ole Miss is not very good.
That's as mean as Logan could be, folks. Logan's that nice guy. No. Logan coached and played where you never disrespect your opponent. You never overlook your opponent.
You don't.
But for Logan to even say they're not very good, that's pretty intense right now. Logan's sweating.
Intense.
That's intense for Logan. That's as mean as you can be.
It's just...
If you can't beat Ole Miss, OU, and LSU to get 3 wins, men, and to finish 10-8 as the worst case scenario there, it's over.
I mean, you can say it's over. Like, what do you mean it's over? Like, what does that lead to? What do you mean it's over?
Okay, I have to take a time out. Here's the question.
Okay,
that we'll ponder.
Yeah,
I basically have thought it's time to factory reset as far as being a fan goes. Back to the original dream, which is just make the NCAA tournament in year 1.
Okay,
you and I were even talking. Could they get to 5 seed? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, the higher order hopes are kind of done, and that's fine. Look, factory reset. Just make the tournament. I think they need 10 wins. That means they need to go 3-3. We'll talk about that when we return.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that
something
conversation.
else I have a text message. I can't reveal from who.
Is that right now or after the break?
After the break, we'll answer this. And their question was, can you still shoot the 3? Because you were talking about your eligibility. We'll tackle all these hard-hitting. Boy, the Louie Belina Show, just insane, huh? All these hard-hitting questions and more on the Louie Belina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio with Logan Lee on the zone.
The Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric. Don't ask unless you want the truth, because you can't handle the truth. Weekdays, 11 to 2 on the zone.
It is Tuesday. Tuesday's about 11:20. Logan Lee, he's a former A&M basketball player that might have 7 years of eligibility left. And he coached at A&M and Kentucky, which means he might have 10 years of eligibility left. He joins me inside the Charles Schwab studio. Okay. The questions. I asked you before the break.
The hard-hitting questions.
It's what we do on the Louie Belina Show. It's intense, man. What is A&M's final record going to have to be to make the NCAA tournament? They're currently at 7-5 with 6 games left.
I think 10 wins. You're right in that 10 wins would probably get them in. 9 wins is probably going to be a bubble team, and then it could be maybe 9 wins and not a loss in the first round of the conference tournament. Maybe, but then they'll probably still be on the bubble. It all depends on if the national media keeps saying the SEC isn't as strong this year.
But
the SEC isn't as good this year.
Okay, but the SEC is going to have the most, or tied for the most teams in.
I agree.
And that's going to dispel all the, it's not, it might not be as good, but you realize it's relative. You don't have to be as good as last year, but when you're still the best or tied for the best basketball conference, that's all that's going to matter to the committee.
I don't know. I don't trust the committee.
Oh, no. Don't ever trust the committee if you're Texas A&M in any sport.
If you leave it in the hands of the committee, you might as well go with the most negative outcome.
Correct.
But if you take care of business, which I think 10 wins would take care of business. I really think that would take care of business. But if you're at 9 wins, I feel like the committee will find a way to keep you on the bubble and keep you on the edge of your seat until the last selection is made.
I just think 9 wins and you're out.
You do?
That's committee. Also, that means you're going to have to take a bad loss.
That means you went 9-9.
Correct. And
you go 500 in conference?
Yes. Because A&M's non-con did them no favors because they couldn't get one of the wins.
Agreed.
And now they'd have to go 2-4. That means they're going to have to lose to one of the 2-10, 3-9 teams currently. They're going to take a quad 3, quad 4 loss down the stretch.
I don't know. I think 9 wins.
Take a bad loss.
I think 9 wins, and like I said, you would have to win a game in the conference tournament, which are then we counting that as 10 wins?
I think the committee will not recognize the SEC tournament.
You don't think so?
They have most of the field done before the conference tournaments. I think you only win your way forward, and opening round game, who are they going to play? That's like a 14-10 game, 12-10.
I don't know.
I think they need to just go 3-3, and you're not even sweating the tournament.
I don't know. I still think 3-3. You're gonna sweat a little. You're gonna perspire. You're gonna glisten a little
because you take stairs. I'm not gonna
in
sweat
40
it at
seconds,
all.
40.56.
And again, I know I usually oversimplify things. I think it's humans that make things complicated, not life. So 3-3, 10-8, you're in. It's just done. Even if you're the 9, I don't care. I think you're in.
9, you're steadily on the bubble, on the outside of the bubble.
I just think you're in.
No, I don't
at
know.
10.
I don't know. I think 9-9, and you are on the outside of the bubble, hoping for something to fall, and you get lucky. I think 10-8. I think you're still a bubble team, but if you're 10-8 and you go and lose the first round of conference, I think that might push you out. But if you win the first round, then you're in. If that makes sense. 10-8, I'm still questionable. 9-9, you have to win games in the conference tournament. That is, and yep, that's where I stand.
What do we need to know about Ole Miss Wednesday night?
Well, you already told us they're not good. If A&M loses, it's over. And I don't know what over means for you because
not NCAA tournament. I think if they're at such a low point that they lose to Ole Miss, take a poison arrow to their resume, I actually think if they lose tomorrow, they're done. I just think they've fallen and they won't get up. You could tell me there's 5 games left, and all. I just think if they lose tomorrow, they're done.
So what happens? They lose tomorrow.
You can tell me. And what if they win the next 5 straight?
They magically hit the reset button.
I've done sports enough to realize there's a million what-if scenarios. I just don't think they're reality-based scenarios. There's always a what-if.
I think it makes it infinitely tougher. I think they are way behind the 8 ball because
they have to win tomorrow.
Because that'll be a 5-game losing streak. Your last loss to a really tough-looking Ole Miss. I mean, they're at what? What are they on? What's their total record?
I think it's 11-14. Of course, I can look. I mean, I don't have to think too hard, but I think they're like 11.
They're on a 3-game losing streak. I just think that's a tough loss.
Okay, let's see. Ole Miss, man, I clicked. I went to the wrong year. That's the thing.
I think that is, yes, that puts them well behind the 8 ball. I think it gets not just the media talking about the downfall, but I think it also harms the fan base.
They're 11-14, 3-9 in SEC play, lost 7 straight.
Man, that's tough. 7 straight?
That's what their schedule says.
Oh,
I
boy.
thought they'd lost 3 straight. Let's see. Okay, they lost last to Mississippi State 78-90.
I don't
lost
need
to
to know
Alabama 93-74. Lost to Texas 68-79. Lost to Tennessee 66-84. Lost to Vanderbilt 68-71. Lost to Kentucky 63-72.
Who's
lost
their
to
coach,
Auburn
Lou?
66-78. And their last win was a rivalry game, Mississippi State.
Who's their coach, Lou?
Who is their coach? Chris Beard?
Yeah.
The guy that A&M wanted to go all out, sold out, and gave everything they wanted for?
That's why I asked.
So 1, Auburn, 2, Kentucky, 3, Vandy, 4, Tennessee, 5, Texas, 6 Alabama, 7 Mississippi State, 7 straight.
Man, that's tough. Yeah, it's a big game. It is a big game.
They beat Missouri earlier.
Look, and Missouri beat Florida. I get it.
So by transitive property, they're going to own A&M. Okay, no.
Not going that far. Right now, I am hopeful. I don't think with the way that things are going and as sluggish as they looked against Vanderbilt, I think they will bounce back. But I also understand the fact that A&M was an unknown commodity, and they took advantage of that. And they won some games, and they got hot. Now that there's film, and we talked about it this past week, now that there's film, and now that coaches can look at them, scout them, understand where their deficiencies are, I think that's the biggest thing. If the coaches understand where their deficiencies are, and they are taking advantage of it, and I just don't know if Bucky has the players
to adjust
to the adjustments that the coaches are making.
Okay, I was thinking that last week, is that at this point now there's so much tape on Bucky Mo, and that's what's affecting their defense. That's what's affecting their press.
Yeah.
Whether it's after the made bucket, they know exactly just what to do and how to pass because they know exactly. So now prepping for A&M on the short day doesn't really mean that much because they don't have to prep for the whole team. You just prep on how to handle that. And really, you've defeated about 80% of A&M's defense because almost all of the defense is predicated on the press. And that's all they have to prep. And
absolutely,
they have tape. It's easy. It's much easier now.
It is easier, especially with the lack of size that they have at each position. If you have guys that are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" on the perimeter, you have guys that are 6'9", 10, 11 that are in the post, maybe even a 7-footer, that even when you prep, you can't prepare for that length. You can't prepare for that athleticism. Right now, if you have 5'11", 6 foot, and you're looking at a 6'4" guard, slow down. Look over them, find your guys, and make the right pass. But you can't say that when you have a 6'6" guy with a wingspan of 6'9" that is all up in your grill and hounding you. So that's where it comes in, and we'll see some adjustments. Bucky and his staff aren't just going to sit down and say, "Oh well, they figured us out. Let's go get some players for next year." No, they believe in these guys, and I think the players that they have this year have the capabilities of still winning games this season.
It's the Louie Belina Show with Logan Lee inside the Charles Schwab studio. It's the Louie Belina Show Tuesday edition. Okay, but how do you adjust when your team's tired? That's the problem right now. They're mentally and physically tired, and now you need to make adjustments, yet they're probably in the worst condition to make them.
You give your team a break. You practice for maybe an hour and a half.
Instead of 2.
Instead of 2.5. Maybe you practice a Sunday morning and then you practice a Monday night. So you give them the rest of Sunday and then most of all Monday morning, Monday afternoon, you practice Monday night. And I'm just throwing those out there just depending on game time. Maybe it's a Sunday night, Monday morning, and then they have all Monday, Tuesday, whatever it is. But you space out practices. You make them more mentally focused. Hey, we're going to walk through today. Guys, you understand our offense, so we're just going to get some shots up. So we're not going to necessarily work on our offense unless we're putting in a specific play. Hey, we drew up this play. We're going to get Ruben a shot at this point in the game. This is the play that we're running. Let's walk through it. Let's run that play. Everything else, y'all know the offense. Defense, y'all understand our defense. Y'all understand the press. But now we're going to throw a wrinkle in. So let's just work on that wrinkle. And so now you're not doing full court drills like they had been doing. And, that's part of this time of the season for every team, especially for this team, though. And you got to give them some rest. You got to get their legs underneath them, especially when they're playing as many minutes and as hard as they are. It is a game of chess when it comes to coaching, and that's what Bucky's got to figure out right now.
I'll just say this kind of like in conclusion, and They haven't had a bad loss all year. They've lost some games ugly. They've lost some games painfully, but they don't have the quad 3, quad 4 losses.
No.
And that's the secret to the whole season. That's why they're in contention for the NCAA tournament. That's been the glue. I don't think they're going to.
I don't think so either.
I think Ole Miss might be We're talking about, they need more rest and they need to make adjustments. They need to play Ole Miss, I think, is going to be one of the biggest things. And then Oklahoma, who's also just awful right now,
It's one of those games where you just need a win.
Right,
well,
right.
You get the monkey off your back, and all of a sudden, things feel better, things look better, and you have a different outlook.
The water tastes better,
Absolutely.
And the food is fresher, and the air is cleaner, and you smile again.
Go get a win.
Basketball's fun again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just win.
Yeah.
And then you play an OU team that's pretty not that good themselves, too, this year.
They beat
Sherritt's
Vanderbilt,
Road
didn't they?
Saturday. There are all kinds of... Don't we know enough about a long basketball season? There's all kinds of results you can point to, but what's the base reality? And, that one win, Ole Miss can lead to 2 wins. But if you lose, and that's part of why I say you're done, that Norman game is exponentially harder.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I think Ole Miss is what they need right now, as much as any rest or anything.
I could agree with that. I can get on board with that thought process,
Just
Lou.
win, man. They need Logan to get his 11 years of eligibility back.
I can make it 3.
You can't play 11 more.
I can make it 3.
If you can make it up those stairs, you can play, dude. Logan, thank you always. Dude, I hope we're talking about 2-0. Talking about one more win for the NCAA tournament
that'd be
before
fantastic,
to go.
Lou.
I just want that. It was the goal before the first game. Because I want the sign of greatness was just make the, remember?
Absolutely.
That's all I want. I want to see that vision, that one sign of how great Bucky is.
Starts tomorrow.
Is take 14 unaffiliated, unrelated players from dead scratch and make the NCAA tournament is the ultimate sign of greatness. That's all I want.
Let me remind everybody, I believe it's a 6 o'clock tip, Reed Arena, playing Ole Miss tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 18th. Everybody be there. They need some support. If they get tired, they need you. They need that extra energy from the 12th man. Everybody show up, Reed Arena, 6
and
o'clock
the Corps Cadet
tomorrow.
Tribute uniforms.
Love it.
All right, brother, be
Love
good.
It. See you, Lou.
When we return, I'll figure it out then. This is the Louie Belina Show on the Zone.
All right, listen up, class.
The money machine is open now. Make sure to enter each week
Everyone comes out a winner.
at zone1150.com or through the Zone newsletter to win $5,000.
The Louie Belina Show. Still to come. 12 o'clock, Maroon and White Notebook. Elko and Bucky. Elko spoke. It was a spring conference media day. Bucky had his Aggie basketball hour, and things are stuck with me. Things in my head. Observational. Want to share. Want to see what you think. 1 o'clock, around college football. 1:50, Community Spotlight. United Way of the Brazos Valley. And you're listening for a chance to register to win a pair of tickets to go see Creed at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And it is thanks to Grocholski Sausage Company. They've been a partner with the Louie Belina Show throughout the years. They are big fans of music like I am. They are big fans. They've had these family recipes for the sausage, like old school Polish. They've been doing this since like 1952. If you ever follow them, and they're big on Facebook, they have all kinds of specials, and they kind of just come up with these ideas, and they're doing smoke this today, and you stop by before it runs out. They're pretty awesome. I'm just telling you right now. And Grocholski Sausage Company, they got 2 locations now. The OG location is on South Main Street in Bremont, and they opened up a new one on South Main Street, but in Calvert. Check it out. If you're one of those people looking for steaks, you're looking for sausage, Grocholski Sausage Company. So listen in. I'll throw up the bat signal. I'll tell you when you can get registered today before 2 o'clock. Only got about a minute left in our first hour together. And lifestyles portion. Robert Duvall, actor, passed away Sunday. He was 95. I know Chip was going up and down the hall here, Brian Broadcasting. He big, always has been. He's talked about Robert Duvall over the years. And for Chip, it was Lonesome Dove, without a doubt. Called the Godfather of Westerns is Lonesome Dove. Well, for me, it's him in, The Godfather. That's my movie. But also Apocalypse Now and unintentional comedy or not, Days of Thunder. I loved Robert Duvall in many of his movies. A loss, a great loss. 95 years old. And the stories that were rolling out yesterday from those that work with him showed the true story of his epicness that he was. But yeah, Robert Duvall passed away. Give me Godfather, Apocalypse Now. And if you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. Days of Thunder.